Hello, my name is Von Fry. Welcome to this commentary track on Alien 3 Special Edition. This is a unique treat. A couple months back, I watched Alien 3 on Amazon Prime Video, and now I see it has returned. I watched it just before it left. Most of the Alien franchises accounted for, except Alien Covenant, but now Alien 3 Special Edition has been added. I have not seen this. Is this what they call the assembly cut? I guess we're about to find out. I'll try to point out what I find different, and it may surprise you. Though I seem to hate most everything, I actually like this movie. But more on that later. Before we get things underway, go to andar.com, A-N-D-A-R, for fine leather goods. Like say you need a leather case for your Apple iPhone or the MagSafe wallet. Got mine just the other week. Enjoying it a lot. Use my promo code FRY20, F-R-Y-20, save 20% at checkout. Alright, if you'd like to queue this up with your viewing of Alien 3 Special Edition, as it is on Amazon Prime Video, go ahead and go to 0000 and hit play now. For this viewing, I am drinking a NOS energy drink fruit punch. I don't think I've had a fruit punch from them. Yeah, that really messed with the levels of the mic. $19.92. A little early to be kind of playing with the fanfare or the opening intro sequence. Nowadays it's common practice to see that desaturated, glitched up for a Matrix sequel, whatever, but you kind of got an ominous tone from the Fox music. I wonder what was first there. Who did it first, right? We got Sigourney Weaver aboard the Sulaco, Ellen Ripley, picking up where the last movie left off. Unfortunately, shunning most of how that movie ended to kind of tell your own tale. I actually don't mind the use of montage here to kind of recap and set things in motion. I believe that is not Carrie Hinn as Newt here, but there is a Newt puppet. You can find pictures online, and then they had like a 16-year-old gal, 16, 17-year-old, I think British girl, who played Newt. It's corpse. Oh, you'll notice that when we get there. Now, my only real memory of this movie, as it was in theaters, I didn't see it. Family went to go see Batman Returns. And on the way out, there's a poster of Alien 3, and my dad's like, we should have saw Alien 3 instead. We ended up renting this movie, and I don't think we really had, much in the way of fond thoughts on it at the time. I think you have to be a little older. Alec Gillis, Tom Woodruff Jr., special effects creature, alien stuff, yeah. Alec Gillis, I've had some chats with him over on Twitter about some filmmaking things. There was this grant at this library. My mom was children's librarian at. Got this grant from Disney, and I was kind of tasked with coming up with some stuff for the kiddos to buy in relating to a filmmaking type activity. And got some tips from Alec Gillis, who had only recently completed his directorial debut, a film called Harbinger Down, starring Lance Henriksen, who is in Alien 3. Walter Hill helping with that screenplay. It's weird to think that Walter Hill didn't direct an Alien film. This is really a unique franchise in that the first 4 installments, really the first 4 installments, each have a different director who has notoriety or achieved maybe in part before and a little after. This one, directorial debut of David Fincher, right? Fiorina, Fury, outfield, double Y, chromosome work, correctional facility. My pronouns are they and them. The halcyon days of space effects using miniatures. Now, this may be a little different here. I don't think the theatrical cut had, looks like maybe that's Charles Dance doing this solemn stroll. I like, long walks on the beach. Not really the most picturesque. I haven't had a sip of my nos yet. Let's see what that's like. That's different. It's not the fruit punch of Rockstar. It tastes a little bit different. It's fine. Oh, so we have a scene here of somebody discovering the bodies from the crash. Interesting. Oh, we got Ellen Ripley washed up on the beach. Is it? No, wait. Yeah. I like the music in this movie. The first 3 Alien films, great music. This cut is over 30 minutes longer, so this is a lot of stuff I haven't seen before here. Probably superfluous, right? Now, people incorrectly throw around the term biomechanics in relation to H.R. Giger's design of the alien creature, in that it's a biological organism, looks like it has pipes, tubing, right? But biomechanics actually refers to close-up tight shots of people's bodies, usually close-up of hands, close-up of feet. You get a decent amount of that type of shot composition in this film, in places. And yeah, okay, maybe there's a budgetary reasoning behind it. Now here are the oxen, right? I've heard that the assembly cut of this, the alien, it gestates in an ox rather than a dog. So I haven't seen that before. This could be quite interesting. This is presented in at least 1080p. This very well may be 4K. I should have looked. It's a good looking movie. We're not quite doing exactly what we've done before. We're not doing what we did in Aliens, but we are largely doing Alien on a prison planet. So that is, in some way, you could say we're repeating the first film. I think that this is a good movie. It's just not a good sequel. Alien 3 takes such a hard turn to try to write away the conclusion of Aliens and make it unimportant, that a good sequel should pick up the thread that it was given. Request emergency evac as soon as possible. Oh, how kind. There was a bit of a buzz around this movie with Sigourney Weaver having her head shaved, and being young at the time, I thought that Sigourney Weaver and Sinead O'Connor were one and the same. Do we even see the oxen in the theatrical? I don't believe so. Message received. My, that is so cold. But would we expect anything less from the company? I think that sunsetting shot is not the way it appeared in theatrical. I think that we may be missing how it was presented with the sort of funeral sequence. So we'll see here. One of the bright spots of the film here, Charles Dutton. I mean, this guy is so good and he probably should have gotten some award consideration. It would be supporting, sure. But there's a presence about him. A pain, even. And we'll see more of that, surely. Now, as we have the guards giving the lecture, right? Oh, we got barcodes on the back of the head. We're doing a bit of a... it was more of an ear tag type thing, and that was THX 1138. But the barcode on the back of the bald guy's head brings to mind some possible inspiration there in the design of Hitman, right? Now, everybody being bald is problematic. Makes it very difficult to assess who is who's still alive. Actually, as I say that, there's somebody with hair in the back, it appears. But not only that, the guards have leather jackets. I think that's the scenario here. And then the inmates don't. So it's a little troublesome to try to figure out who's what. And really, if you want to see a movie where the inmates run the asylum, I guess this is it. So we're moving along a little bit slower here. This is probably not a movie that needs to be 2.5 hours long, because the plot's going to be pretty straightforward, all things considering, right? Was that shot going to wake her up? This cocktail of my own, an eye-opener. Now, when I watched this the other month, I had seen it, previously on TV, probably about 2007, maybe. And so I kind of thought Charles Dance checked out way sooner in the film. Kind of like... In a sense, you could say it seems as though he's the Dallas figure. Like, here's somebody you think's going to have a big role, and then they don't necessarily. or not as big as you thought. Dallas, going into the original film, you would have assumed would be the lone survivor. I mean, it looked like he was the central figure. Oh no, the bad news. Everything I did on that planet just dead? Ah. Given the nature of our indigenous population, I suggest close. All guys. Custodial staff of 25. Her name was stenciled on the back of her shorts. That's how we're going to arise to that conclusion. Look at the underclass productivity, the industrial nature of this, and see how that kind of correlates to the first film. Space truckers, now we have correctional facility labor. A droid. The safety bracket impelled the corporal. Guess if it wasn't there, that wouldn't have happened. You say you don't think she was conscious when she drowned. But in the theatrical cut, you get a pretty clear shot of like arms raised up against the glass, right? Mouth open. It sure seems like someone's trying to escape. Sees the alien blood. Oh no. The leftovers, the blood residue, right? So now Ripley's agenda here is to check to see if Newt had an alien xenomorph chestburster, right? I don't know how she planned on handling this, if she was just going to say, check for cholera, right? Yeah, I might need to keep a torch nearby. You got like a saline torch? Maybe I can kind of keep that handy. We check the little morgue, right? Now, this is a wee bit on the unsettling side, depending on how you view this, because probably could have used a puppet here, but not all the shots are puppet. Instead, we actually have an actress credited for being a dead body. That shot's a puppet. It's actually the odd thing is it's the opposite of what you think. It's the close-up shots where we have a human. And I actually asked Alec Gillis about this, well, not this in particular, but how so much more of his more recent work looks so much more authentic. He just says it's practice. It's not a a step, or like there isn't a invention or a new technique necessarily that's the cause of it. But I mean, here we have to use a real human for the close-up shots. In Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, the deceased Zod, that is essentially a puppet. That was all effect, all practical effect. Not a guy laying on a slab. And Alec Gillis did that, and it looks absolutely realistic. I told you, she drowned. Well, we're going to have to spend another 15 minutes investigating this further, actually. I'm not sure how she would spot a contagion, as the lie cover up here. We're bringing out the body horror now. Yeah, Clemens, you go ahead and you do the cutting just in case you hit a chest burster. You can be the one to deal with it. Shocking surprise. If I mention I'm eating popcorn, maybe you can tell. I insist we open the chest cavity. No, you don't need permission from her parents. I know they're dead. Don't you miss the way movies used to look? Everything looks so much more authentic, or at least that it could be taken seriously. And now, so much of even the dramatic stuff just comes across as a veiled joke. Nope, no chest burster, just lungs. As I said, she drowned. Charles Dance following year, the villain in Last Action Hero. Though I'm sure most of you are more familiar with him on Game of Thrones. Hi, I'm not Jude Law. Come to think about it, she's been a lieutenant for well over 50 years, I guess, right? Nope, there is a public health issue. We have to incinerate. And he goes along with it. Because Clemens is sort of trying to slide into that romantic love interest angle, right? He wants that position. He's playing along with Ripley's lead. All scum. It's weird. It's a prison, monastery. Monastery or monastery? Monastery, right? So you'll hear things a bit preachy out of them, but it makes for, you have to have these kind of wrinkles to try to keep things compelling, especially when you have a limited threat here. You have one creature, hasn't really come on the scene yet. How else are you going to build up the movie? I think we're probably about to see this go down, actually. I saw some chickens over there. We're doing the ox thing, aren't we? In fact, I never even saw the guy with his dog, you know, the dog looking at the wreckage. I think you could see a face hugger that the dog was kind of looking at. You never saw the dog here. I mean, these are some pretty considerable changes to think that they actually shot sequences and then went back and let's change it. And I think that when you consider the differences between an ox and a dog, and this really being the first movie that particularly hints that the xenomorph will gain from the DNA or adjust to what it came from, that it mixed with the DNA, and now it's like that the xenomorphs we've been seeing were humanoid in shape because it came out of a person. What happens if it comes out of a dog? Is it a little smaller? If it comes out of an ox, is it huge? There are shots in this movie where it seems to play it both ways. Is it slender and dog-like? Oh, hey, I didn't know it was that big, the next minute. And there were actually some efforts to dress like a Doberman Pinscher as an alien. Have the dog running around in an alien suit. I mean, it looks for good cosplay, as one would say today, but what they ended up doing was kind of creating a new kind of stop motion, but live, wherein they worked a puppet in real time and then digitally erased the rods, composited over the scene. People mistakenly think of it as bad CGI. The composite process does make it come across as looking like how CGI of the time kind of looked. The very next year, Jurassic Park wanted to use this sort of effect for a T-Rex sequence. They had a guy come up with, I think maybe even the same guy who did it here. I want to say Phil Tippett, but I could be wrong. Come up with the same sort of concept, and then Dennis Muren's outfit did the CGI, and Steven Spielberg was really wowed by the CGI stuff. I was just like, well, that's the way we have to go. First shot of seeing overlay in an alien film, it does seem when there's a stylistic break in a sequel, it seems a little off-putting. When we haven't had shots like that in a previous Alien film or in the first one, it seems out of tradition or, distance itself. Sometimes the effort to differentiate a film from the predecessors kind of makes it seem unrelated. So the ox alien birth is happening, coinciding with when the dog alien would be happening, but the dog being alive still really made for it being more gruesome. This ox is rot. And the dog thing, man, that was some pretty gruesome stuff. More montage. Charles S. Dutton giving the words there. I don't think we're hitting quite the same musical cues here. Now, why would her nose start bleeding now? We learn later Ripley is carrying a queen. Is it possible that the queen's sensing of this? Oh, what? No, that's CGI. What? Okay, I'm pretty sure that the alien scurrying away on all fours was CGI. It did not run out there in snake-like hissy fashion of the original film. Just, a miniature version of a full-size thing here. Not so much a different stage of life. That really looked like CGI to me. Perhaps they never finished that. They didn't do the effect for it. And so in the process of trying to put together a special edition of this, as they had done with Aliens, Alien even released theatrically a special edition. I think it was called Special Edition. It could have been called Director's Cut. Sort of different take on the etymology of the alien. Now, I never cared for it with the, oh, hey, it captures you and then it sticks you to the wall and you become an egg. And that's the life cycle. I much prefer the concept of the queen laying eggs. I mean, that's really how eggs work, right? Something lays the egg. Now, I've never seen an eagle attack a salmon and then mold it into an egg. Now, I said somebody had hair earlier. It could have just been this dude with his cap. Face tattoos before it was cool. Check out the leadership there on Dutton. And he also had a similar type power in performance, menace to society. All right, Ripley is ready to mix with the populace, gin pop, as those of you who've been to prison know it. Head shaved, got matching uniform with you guys, blending in with them browns, them earth tones. And then the rapists are like, I gotta try to hold myself back here. Pete Postlethwaite. It had to be about this time. Maybe it was 93 for In the Name of the Father. Opposite Daniel Day-Lewis. Good prison movie. Pete Postlethwaite, typically seen in very small roles in films. Very small role in Last of the Mohicans. And, I guess similar size, well, actually maybe a little bit bigger role in the Lost World. Ripley trying to make friends with the black guy, and he's not having it. Sits down anyway. Looked like there was a lot of empty seats. We had a good place here, live out our days, no temptation, and you had to come in dressing all sexy with your shaved head. Of course, the way he comes across, you really don't know his motives. Told you straight up, hey, I'm a rapist and a murderer. But it's sort of a character arc, though, of which he gets redemption here. Millennium, is that millennium? There's a religion about the millennium? Is that how that works? I don't know. Allowed to remain as custodian, monk, inmates, 2 minders, and a medical officer. I'm the medical officer. That's right, I should mention Dylan is the name of Charles S. Dutton's character. I think I'll refer to him as Dylan henceforth. Dylan, you son of a bitch. What's the matter? See, I got you pushing too many pencils. Alright, I think this guy wants to know what's what now. What were you really looking for in the girl? Everybody's like, I've been out here a long time. Me too. Yep. I think we're about to see our first victim. You know, when an alien film cuts away to a guy who hasn't had a lot of screen time and he's occupying the whole space by himself, odds of him making it out of that sequence, not so good. What did I step into? Shedding skin. Okay, so this thing's going to be bigger than we saw it. In fact, if I were to guess, the CGI that I saw of that animation of the xenomorph scurrying away looked far newer than this film. I would guess maybe 2007, 2010 maybe. Okay, now I have to wonder, did he get shot in the head with the retractable tongue mouth, the double mouth, or was it the alien spit? I don't think the alien spitting acid was a thing until Alien Resurrection, when there was a clear instance of it. And I feel like that was kind of incorporated into the film by mistake. Kind of like, oh yeah, they spit acid, right? Well, no, they're supposed to bleed acid. It's not the saliva. Come on, do they really need to share a bed? Surely you got room for her. Just want to know why we had to cremate the bodies. Oh, she is just repeatedly lying to this man. You know, what's the sense in lying here? No way you... I mean, okay, so everybody thinks you're crazy. You did fall out of the sky and whatever, right? And they could get some information, maybe correspond with the Weyland-Yutani. What were they out there? Oh, yeah, there was colonists. Colony went dark. It turned out we suspected a xenomorph infestation or things, right? You know, try to get these people prepared for the worst case scenario. Instead, leaves them in the dark. It makes them come up with a rat maze. Snoss I actually picked up at Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree, got 2 Dollar Trees in my town. One nearest me had 1 can of NOS, 16 ounces. Had a bunch of rock stars, but they were 12 ounces in the kind of skinny Red Bull can, you know? Skinny, tall Red Bull can that's still 12 ounces, and it's kind of like, well, why are we doing that when it could have been in the shape of a Mountain Dew, Pepsi, Coca-Cola? And they said, oh, we don't usually have those. That was the only one we had. It's on the shelf. It's alone. It doesn't have anything else around it. It's not labeled, so it's $1, not $1.25. I know, supposedly, hey, we're changing our prices. This was a brand new Dollar Tree. It's been around for a few months. They had to tear down the sign in the front that said everything's $1, even though everything is still $1. Ah, yes, I know the man by his boots. I'm very good at identifying people by their clothing. A sudden rush of air pulled him into the fan, huh? This looks peculiar. Always enjoyed the adult aspect of the Alien saga for the most part here. It's we got grown-ups dealing with things as grown-ups should. They don't go around making stupid decisions, disobeying, because they're rebellious teenagers. They're not playing that card. All right, Ripley, what we searching for? We got like flight recorder. We're going to go across the bishop torso. By the way, and I'm not sure if people thought this or not, maybe you could have possibly thought it at the time, because this was a rather ambitious puppet. The the bishop corpse, as I guess, right? Deactivated bishop. That's not Lance Henriksen under makeup. That's all puppetry. I think it's servos, electric. And at the time, that was, one of those little steps in pushing some boundaries, pushing the envelope. And good sci-fi movies do that. They don't just say, here's what we did with this one, we can do the same thing. It's how can we do this different? How can we create more? Now, Lance Henriksen will return in the closing of the movie. And I wonder how this film handles that. Are we going to get a concise representation of was his bishop at the end? Was he alien? I'm sorry. And was he a synthetic? I prefer the term artificial person. Okay, was he an artificial person or was it a human? He gets an ear kind of knocked out of place, but is it possible if you got hit with something hard enough that could be the case? If you really had your head split open, would you be able to talk through that? Or would you be out cold? And so in the theatrical cut, maybe that's as good as evidence as we can get that he was lying, that he's a synthetic. Well, looky here. We got one of those sipping birds. Had those on the Nostromo. Did we have it on the Sulaco? Maybe in the quick shot before they get out of cryo sleep. But I mostly recall them from Dark Man. Snazzy jacket, by the way. Yeah, keep her in the infirmary. That might be a decently safe place to be, but she needs to lead them in the fight against the xenomorph. There's a fair amount of British accent, the Cockney working class accent of Britain to be heard in this film. See, in space, not everybody's American, I guess, right? After years of living outside Earth, are these the accents people adopt? We're learning a little bit more about Clemens. It turns out he made a mistake as a doctor, has been paying for it ever since. By keeping the cast mature, we can get better performances than on the average with the teeny boppers. And here's a TikToker we can work into our movie to get that audience, right? So this is a throwback to a time when you could say actors earned their roles, rather than nowadays, where it is what audience does this person bring? If we sign them and they're 10 million Instagram followers, they'll check out the movie and then we make money. Yeah, that's how we're going to cast. Look where that got you. Thunderclap. Oh, here we go. Assault in progress here. Or, well, commence. No, wait. She's going to visit Bishop first. Okay. Oh, the hand. That must be it. In viewing these, I may have actually seen ALIEN³ with the capacity to recall having seen it before seeing Aliens. I think I saw Aliens in part briefly, as far as before seeing this, in part briefly, mostly the end, on a small 25-inch TV at my grandma's house with company over, and everybody's kind of just talking through the whole thing. It was on television. This was a thing we rented and all. And then later saw the original Alien. When the movies are older than you, you see them out of order. Oh, these guys look not pleasant. I think I'll get a walk in over here. Now this is a little different, because we kind of break into a sort of contemporary club trance, industrial rock type music, and it's not something we've heard in the franchise before, and it seems out of place. Why the goggles, my dude? You going in? Dylan shows up, and he doesn't just kick some ass. I think he straight kills some of these guys. I'll knock some of that shit off right away. Yeah, that's brain tissue on that pipe. Oh, good right. We have a cigarettes vending machine in a prison. How has it not been looted already? I guess I don't fully understand the necessity to light 176 candles across the end of this section. I've got the deepest voice in the movie. It's kind of like we lit all these candles just so we could have a sequence of them. Some getting blown out so we can lead a guy to his death. Never really known the xenomorph to blow out candles. Is it birthday? Everybody's a brother, a sister, kind of like that. Oh yeah, going off on my own. This not a good look for you. You know what movie you're in, buddy? The slow burn pacing also reminiscent of the original movie. You don't see a lot of wrinkles of aliens in Alien 3. Or should we call it cubed? Because this movie, that's not just a 3. It's a tiny 3. It's a cubed symbol. Oh, we got a big chap. I'm not really sure what exactly is happening there. It looks like he's being dangled and tickled to death, possibly. You know, it's kind of shot in the foreground. Oh yeah, we brought some explosives with us, too. So they ran around in a circle and came back to the guy who was attacked, and here he is. Now we're keeping on these guys a little long, which means bad things for them. I do like the design of the alien in this one. This is the first film in which Alec Gillis, Tom Woodruff Jr. Tom Woodruff Jr., I believe, is inside the alien when it is when it calls for a man in a suit. He oftentimes plays the alien in that regard. But this is the first time in which they were in charge of the effects. Now, this team had worked on Aliens through Alien vs. Predator 2. Or is it Alien vs. Predator? Or is it Aliens vs. Predators? Requiem, right? Yeah, we'll throw that word Requiem in there, make it sound highbrow. Alec Gillis did tell me he was not involved with Alien Covenant. And when he said that, I said, well, I'm not seeing that in theaters. Here we go with the Bishop puppet. Really quite cool how we're working out lip syncing and the eye movement. Well, a lot of that is pretty authentic. Of course, the more you watch it, the more it's going to be exposed. So, gotta kind of get away from it. I think this could be new right here. I don't recall seeing this scene. Golic. Yeah, I saw some serious stuff down there. Got all bloody and just want to eat. Fire in the cryogenic compartment. That's why the tubes were ejected. But what started the fire? No kidding, you're not what you used to be. Bishop does prioritize the life of the humans aboard the Sulaco, but was not super upfront with the information here. Okay, so this is how we're trying to explain that this guy gets put in the straitjacket, and I think he might be the sole survivor of the movie. Of this group. Giving some reason to get cut offline for good here. I'll never be top of the line again. Put me on my misery. Synthetics have feelings regarding this. Dignity. See, this is where we would have just gone. Just with the straitjacket hauling him in, questioning him. What, did you go and murder these guys? I think in short order you could understand that there wasn't a human behind this. Because you kind of be like, well, how'd you kill all these people in this fashion? Ripley overhears this and knows the truth. All right, it's time to come clean. Dragon might be a good way to describe it. We got order standing in the way of hearing the truth. Yeah, bring in the bureaucracy. 8-foot creature of some kind with acid for blood and arrived on your spaceship. You expect me to accept your word? Yeah, of course. There's always going to be one of these guys, right? It's a prison. We don't really have weapons. Of all the places to crash land. It's kind of like Con Air. We don't keep guns aboard my ship, right? But then you find out they have a weapons cache. Well, here they don't so much. Yeah, this dude, I think the guy in the straitjacket actually survives, like, everything, if I'm not mistaken. Company's a little slow to get to their prized asset, right? Ripley's feeling a little off. Something sick to my stomach. The movie's trying to give you those hints, lead you the breadcrumbs. Get to that conclusion that she's carrying an alien. Yeah, Golik, I think you're going to survive. Uh-oh, there's a big vent right there. Clemens, you never want to have your back to a vent in an alien film. And foreshadowing, it says you're going to die too. To Ripley, remember? She does get that heroic bloodshed sacrifice. I like to mix up my own medicines here. We're outside jurisdiction. The board doesn't need to know. I do kind of like this attack with the curtains. I think we're going to see a lot of that. I want to call it go motion. I think some people are going to... There's differing data online about go motion being, it's stop motion, but you blur the frames with Vaseline in between to simulate motion blur. But then I've also heard go motion referred to as this puppetry with the rods in real time. Thus, it's not stop motion. It's live. It's go motion. All right, I'm going to tell you everything. Go. Had a morphine addiction, made some mistakes, sentence reduced. Here I am. Let off lightly. Did he ever give her that shot? Now she's going to offer. Uh-oh, Golik sees something moving here. What? Something just jump on the bed and really weigh it down. Swiss-made syringe. Such a big yet quiet creature when it wants to be. Is it possible Clemens is attacked specifically for harming the carrier of the Queen? Here we are with that effect. I look at the design of the alien in this one. It has a kind of a smaller, angular chin about it. I think it looks sleeker overall. But I would say it looks at least as good as we've seen the alien in the first film, now considered the drone. I don't really care for the soldier aliens as much. I just kind of think that they look a bit busy with the dome, kind of trying to work in a whole lot of other crests and stuff around them. Dude, Dylan talks, you listen. Kind of get the impression that we've seen Ripley make this run already. How long is this hallway? It kind of looks like she's repeating it. All right, so we got kind of basically the warden guy, right? He's giving his big speech. He's going to get sucked up the vent. We do a similar thing with Samuel Jackson in Deep Blue Sea. He gives his big talk, gets pulled down into the pool. Snatch. And there's his stress ball. There's only one custodian really left among the inmates now. Now the inmate leader basically becomes the one in charge. This guy's like, I don't want to be in charge. I remember when Ripley was like, isn't Corporal Hicks in charge, head of the company? This is a military man. Yeah, that's right. Well, now it's like, hey, well, you're an officer, you're a lieutenant. I guess we can make you in charge, Ripley. How are we going to stop it? We have no weapons. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Great. Video system hasn't worked in years. That's really high tech. And Dylan's basically like, we're not going to have any more animosity towards Ripley. And then I should be next in line's like, yeah, you tell him. Coming up with a plan involving maps. So basically what they inadvertently come up with a plan that gets most of them murdered. And hey, we have this room nothing can get out of. We can put it in there if we can get it to chase us in. And here we are. Walls 6 feet deep, solid steel. That might contain the acid blood. Really wanted to be sure there's no other way out of this room. But see, the door's not 6 feet deep. Doesn't like be called 885. Or 85. Did he say 85? His IQ's 85. I try to watch these with the volume down mostly and the subtitles on. You know, try not to interfere with the recording. So now they organize this big operation, which I guess I don't fully understand why the alien wouldn't bother attacking them during their prep. Oh, Weyland-Yutani explosives right there. So we're going to paint up everything. Just get out the mops. Get this gunk all over the place and make like a giant fireball. Oh, got that morning sickness again. Now, it is said that Ripley has the queen, right? The gestation period far different for her than typical. Like, a lot of these people, they got a chest burster within a day, right? Uh-oh. Don't want to drop one of these explosives. Not really handling this thing with a lot of care, are we? And what I was saying about attacking during the prep, here we go. Oh, the horns are kicking in. Slow motion. That's high-speed footage right there. Now, we really just create a scenario that's going to wipe out most of our personnel. Sprinklers are not working. Meanwhile, Golick, I think, is still straitjacketed into a hospital bed. I could be wrong. It's hard to determine who is who here. And you run across this sort of scenario when you watch a lot of like Eastern European cinema. You get too many guys of the same ethnicity with the same haircut. You shoot it, not as this goes, but a lot of those sort of movies are shot from a sort of medium shot, or even a further out shot, not giving you a lot of detail of faces, making it really hard to discern who's who. Here, you don't see enough differentiating in personality between most of the lesser. There's one of our composite effects here with the rods, but people think that's CGI. Of course, Dylan, you can recognize him, right? He's the black guy with the glasses, right? But I mean, some of these guys, you hardly even picked up their name. Thing takes off running on all fours. Oh, so it went inside to the room that no one can escape from. Does that mean we win? I could be wrong, but I don't think it did that in the theatrical version. I don't think that's how that functioned. We got a little foreshadowing right there. The water cooled that tin bucket. I think this was just a total botch in the theatrical version, that it didn't get trapped in the toxic waste containment room. Which, by the way, they were pleased enough to seal that guy in with it, really. Maybe that makes them all look bad to do a guy like that. That's could be how it got changed. Okay, so they think they've won. I'm not religious, I got a job. Okay, so does the rescue team unleash it? Is that what's going to happen? Don't tell us why you're top priority, but you are. Hell, maybe Ripley opens it up under the assumption that the company's not going to kill this thing. Keeping this guy in the straitjacket, even though the dragon is real. Certainly a scene I have not seen before here. Alright, we're going to get this guy in the straitjacket. Is he going to open it up? I gotta see it again. Oh man, he's gonna go unleash this thing. So the guy who screws over everybody is gonna be the survivor. Is that what's really gonna happen here? We call it a xenomorph. I don't really like that name. I don't like the term. That it has been erroneously reported in synopsis descriptions of even the first film, saying that something like a creature that is constantly changing shape attacks a crew aboard a spaceship. The description for the Alien 3 Special Edition on Amazon Prime Video is a typical description, but the Alien 3 description is it's wonky. It's like, mysterious events occur. And it's like, what? Prime, you're drunk. Ah, yes, the old permission denied. Hey, ain't nobody supposed to be over here. You ain't supposed to be opening this. What you doing here? Damn, stabbed this guy with a razor blade just so that he could see the creature, what's the reward to get out of this? It's going to murder you. But yeah, it kind of just makes for more sound movie to simply have the whole operation not work and then they have to go to plan B. Oh, but of course, you have the scenario of, this guy's a demented... Actually, hold on now. Maybe it's the last worker survives. I thought maybe he gets shot, and that this was the only survivor of the theatrical. Don't much look that case now. Oh yeah, there we go. Big black outlines on it as the trouble is the process of compositing is not as advanced as it is today. And so you end up with the thick, disconnecting outlines from the mat, and therefore you can certainly see weaknesses. I think the first movie that really had particularly strong composite work was... there are times in Star Wars things look good, but a lot of that is touched up in computer in 97 and all. But True Lies had pretty good composite work. Oh, what's the... Got a teeny weeny problem. Oh, no, I'd say it's a huge problem if the door's open. Man, they shot a lot of stuff to end up with a very alternate cut of a movie, didn't they? All right, so we're finally going to investigate what's wrong with Ripley. It's possible in the theatrical version we don't have as much of a preamble tell about her having multiple scenes of being sick, at the stomach, whatever, breaking down. I think there is less of that. Rescue team 10 hours away. Gotta survive for 10 hours. Now we're going to use the escape pod, the cryo tube, the old freezerinos, to do a little bit of CAT scan like medical analysis. If we elaborate upon that concept, you kind of get that chamber that Vickers had, right? It only works on men. That's surgery unit, right? Just more advanced than this, even though this is 50 years in the future from that. All right, now Ripley's able to identify this as a queen. I think you can identify there's a crown that's different than typical, but I mean, to guess at the stage at which we see it, took some deductive powers, I guess, to lead you along that path. Uh-oh, something's there. But you're kind of right about the not possible part. Highly improbable. In fact, I don't know how the face hugger could have got her and she'd be able to survive the impact. It would have broken her containment unit, the cryo chamber, all the... We're coming up with a story that is not as strong as the film delivered. There's a lot of good workman things about this, but then the concept of the story, essentially rewriting the ending to Aliens, or shunning it aside, rather, making it feel insignificant, haphazardly implanting Ripley with an alien without a conceivable way for that to be possible. These are issues that hold the movie back. But in the meantime, we have strong performances, enough interesting details, a good-looking film. I'm keeping this axe. It's possible in this version, Golic doesn't survive. That they don't show him leaving with the artificial, new bishop, right? And crew. All right, next move, try to chase it to the furnace. Do you get the impression that with the shaved head in uniform. They look a bit reminiscent of Ridley Scott's 1984 Apple commercial. And maybe they can freeze you and do something with their technology. She's laying it out there for the guy who hadn't seen the 2 movies ahead of time. Just call him 85. It's quite possible this sequence here was different than what I've seen before, too, because I don't recall seeing this exchange. Now here we go with the "It won't kill me, I'm carrying the new queen." And that seems familiar, right? Going to just kind of go look for this thing. She has and we'll probably get the scene. Arrival within 2 hours. You got 2 hours. All you gotta do is just stick together in your assembly hall where it doesn't seem to want to go. Safety in numbers. Seems to scare it away like a mountain lion. Play it safe. Absolute highest priority quarantined. Because now that they know she's carrying a queen, he sees, Mr. 85 here, that she's right, that they want this for the weapons division. And there's not the Sulaco. Now, if you watch carefully here, when she thinks she spotted it, that's actually the puppet, the costume. She stabs it, and it turned out as a broken pipe that she hallucinated, I guess. Here we go. Though admittedly she did mistake a pipe, the creature for a pipe before in the original film, near the end. And it reaches the hand out at her, right? She may not have the worst idea, thinking that And while it won't hurt me, I can get close to it and stab. There we go. There it is. Yeah, clearly that's the costume. Clearly. The song, can't remember anything else. I think that's a line that occasionally gets brought up in reviews of the film. And it was a rusty pipe full of maggots. Even though what we clearly, the audience saw, was not that. No, but she sees here yet again that it's not going to kill her, which she already knows because it was up next to her face in the infirmary. So we didn't really need that scene because we already understood this much. An hour ago. Okay, so 1 hour left. You saw it an hour ago. It said arrival in 2 hours, so 1 hour. We still have CAT scans. How'd it get there? Good question. When I was in hypersleep, I guess I was violated. She asked him to kill her, but that doesn't quite go down. We actually did see one of these bust out of a, warm and dead ox, by the way. You don't have to worry about that. When it's time, going up to Dylan because he's the one with the axe. No speeches, but that's not his style. This NOS fruit punch is growing on me, guys. It's a good fruit punch. Dramatic music kicks in, pants sniffs in brackets. Gotta hit something, right? Clank those bars above her. I don't like losing a fight. Not nobody, not nothing. Oh, you want to get attitude with me? I'll throw you around. We got 1 hour to figure out how to kill this thing. The clock is ticking. Promises to kill her quick, easy, and painless as soon as they kill this thing. Yeah, you don't really die up here fighting or not fighting. It's all you gotta do is wait for the team. Yeah, they're not here to rescue you guys. They're here to take the beast, which they will do, and you can live if all you care about is your own well-being. I don't think that many of these guys sit this out. Suicide run is a apt way to put it. They might kill you just for having seen it. Might. This thing kill you for sure. Found God at the ass end of space. Good line. You know, third movie, third hairstyle for Ellen Ripley. You had to get to Lethal Weapon 4 before Mel Gibson's hair changed. I guess that's kind of the same thing for Die Hard. Fourth Die Hard, bald. Rallying the troops. The question is how you check out. You want it on your feet, knees begging. Yeah, are you motivated now, guys? Alright, everybody's on board now. We got an hour or less to do this. And sure the piston's gonna work? There's nothing for sure in this place. So the concept here is the piston's going to push this thing, force it into the, I guess, the mold, where they're going to drop the lead. I told you that the xenomorph that people think CGI is not CGI. However, at the end, when they get the sprinklers on the lead and cools it and it cracks, that is a CGI effect. So the cracking part, CGI. Now, we haven't seen the alien POV yet, and I'm thinking that made this cut. And we'll surely get that during the chase through these questionably designed corridors with the sort of A-frame. Spot the thing, run, try to shut the door. Oh boy, door doesn't shut. Of course, I don't understand how they're going to spot where exactly this thing is based on these doors and which one shuts or not. So there we go with the rod puppet composite working this guy. Don't look bad. The lighting on it doesn't do it a lot of favors. The lighting does not match the lighting of the scene. There's the POV with slightly distorted fisheye type thing. You get some of that in the Alien vs. Predator games when you get to play as the alien. Oh, I think we're about to lose Pete. Oh. Yeah, I think you found Vincent too. Of course, no, we can't just simply have lamps, flashlights. This like giant sparkler is, more cinematic. Hey, that run right there, quick enough. That looks good. The tell on special effects is always lingering on it, right? So if it moves quick enough, it should look fine. This guy was holding a knife, right? That's going to do some good against this. I don't know how they can know where the hell they are, where they think it is. Oh, there's the giant shotgun spaceship. It's about to land. Actually, I don't think the whole thing lands. It needs to send a dropship down, doesn't it? And it kind of looks like it's in the atmosphere, for that matter. Probably not the best place for the ship to go, right? running across the ceiling. You couldn't possibly get a human running across the ceiling to work. So I think that's actually pretty cool that they tried to tell the story in a unique way. Try to give this thing unhuman-like movements. Running with scissors, that's what he's got. What knife? How you think Dylan's going to check out here? Because he's like, stay here, I'm going to check on him. Yeah, we'll give you a butcher knife that makes you feel a little more confident. Oh no, Pete Postlethwaite. Punched through the brain, through the glass. See, now this thing looks so huge, and it's going to pull this guy away and just look absolutely enormous. But, you know, then there are times where it seems slender. I don't think I've seen Golic in this version after he released the Alien. And yeah, he deserves some kind of comeuppance, so I'm thinking that changes the conclusion. Well, you know, maybe you're better off not looking at it if it's on the ceiling, then it won't attack you. Kind of get some pleasure in scaring you first. No, this guy's bleeding out quick. And there he goes. This thing holding away the body here, it's, you know, it's like they said, 8 foot tall. I think that's 85 there running off. Got the cool jacket, of course, right? Die holding your sparkler. Oh, no, maybe it ain't 85. I don't know. This is Jude. See, most of these guys don't... The personality is pretty interchangeable, and that makes them fodder. Oh, big splatter. earning our R rating through language and Gallagher mess. All right, we have sat down. We are bringing in, I don't know what they got, a grid stretcher thing. The crew coming to visit them certainly looks unique. And I think this armor getup, you don't see it in any of the other films, but I think it may appear in Alien Fireteam game that came out, I think probably like September, October. Fireteam Elite. It's coming to Game Pass, and I'll be playing it probably about the time you hear this. And there's our boy Bishop. Clunk. Oh yeah, we had a good laugh here. We just ran into each other. That little reminiscing was short-lived. The piston is in motion, and the crew's here. Got to get going. If the thing just wants to stay in that corridor, what are they going to do, right? Man, look at the movement on the tail. That is impressive. Now, of course, today, oh no, it's CGI, right? The thing motivating it to get out of there is human interference with Ripley. So, see, protecting Ripley's priority, she's going to get stabbed with a needle, take out the guy, right? Shut the door, Morse, come on. Get that lead. All right, so here's 85. He's communicating. By the way, Bishop looking snazzy as all hell. Trench coat in sci-fi. That's the way to go. You know, now they're in this furnace. Sorry, not thermos, but furnace. Would you categorize this movie as cyberpunk, or rather, kind of steampunk, right? We had a deal. It first, then you. So you get moving. Yeah, I like a line he's got coming soon here. We see the climbing prowess of the alien's kind of cool. Here. Now you want a piece of me? I'm down here. Come on. God will take care of you now, sister. Oh, shit's serious now. He's taking the glasses off. And thing closes gap like a linebacker. Well, I think it was Morse who was going to get the lead, right? Don't worry, I think Dylan was dead before the lead came into the picture. Dylan was dead. Did I say Morse? Triumphant music. I think we got him. One of the few Alien films that doesn't involve an airlock. Suckage. Death. Oh yeah, nothing can survive that, right? Boiling lead, like that would... I don't much care what the hell it's comprised of. It's done. It's not jumping out of there. It's moving quite well for being covered in molten lead. Hit the sprinklers, like that bucket we had one shot of, the bucket cracking, buckling. Okay, so maybe it's Morse that survives. I could have sworn it was the guy left in the straitjacket survived the theatrical cut. Now it's going to crack, and you'll see here. Actually, okay, not... Maybe they just didn't do the crack shot and just went straight to the explosion. That's a cool way to take it out, though. I wonder if that would spray acid blood everywhere. See, I think this guy, maybe this Morse, maybe he gets taken out for trying to attack Bishop. See how they handle this here. But maybe it was the guard that hit him. I mean, he would have been in proximity. $85, right? All right, all the worries out of the way, right? Wait a minute, they're here. I thought you'd like to see a friendly face. Company sent me here to show you a friendly face. The company, really, wouldn't you be the one in charge of the company? So you decided. If we're thinking Bishop, the idea is his name's what, Wayland Bishop or Bishop Wayland. Then you kind of have to wonder who's the real founder at what point. Because it's kind of like he just looks a whole lot like his great granddad, maybe from Alien vs. Predator. Let us deal with the mutant. We've got a surgical bay set up for you. It's very quick. We even have an Asian to operate on you. You'll know it's dead. Yeah, what guarantee do you really got? All you gotta do is take their word. Has he blinked yet? Shuts the gate. Ooh, baller move. All right, shot Morse in the leg. Smack. And then the 85's dead. All right, definitely. So Morse survives. It wasn't the guy that was chained up. Let's see. He's saying I'm not a droid. Looks like he's bleeding oil, though. Remember, all the androids prior to this in Alien, it's a white ooze. No pictures. I think we're getting a lot more shots of Bishop there with the ear dislodged than in the theatrical version. I think he's lying about not being a droid. I don't know. It looks like blood, but it kind of looked like a bunch of black coming out. Actually, it kind of seems like he's more likely to be lying to her if he's a human. Not the greatest looking fall. I've seen worse nowadays. And this is different. It doesn't do the dramatic busting through her chest while it's falling. She pulls it back in. So the super convenient timing of the theatrical cut is not here. But I also kind of felt like that made for a better scene. And the place is getting locked. Are we taking Morse with us? Yes, we are. We got him fixing his leg up. Maybe I had Morse mixed up with Golick, who, because everybody's a bald white guy, thinking that he was the one that was straight-jacketed. And then we're going to sign off with the signing off from the first film. Try to bring things full circle in some regard. A little luck get picked up by the network. Yeah, luck. How did that work out for you? End of transmission. Okay, that now being even longer. Yeah, you can see Charles S. Dutton there, higher spot in the credits than Charles Dance. Charles Dance definitely checks out sooner because of the way that kind of worked out. With the but there's well over an hour left by the time he's gone. Maybe even close to 2 hours. Well, yeah, maybe an hour and a half. All right, Alien 3 Special Edition. I hadn't seen this before. Have you guys seen it? What were your thoughts? How do you think Alien 3 compares to today's sci-fi films? Where does it sit in the Alien saga? I think it's probably the third best movie in the franchise. Everything really starts to make a marked decrease with Resurrection, which I think I'll be getting to next. Yep, so go ahead and give me your comments and all that good stuff below. Adios.